Do you have any location sharing apps on your phone right now?
Snapchat and Find My.
I have Life 360 and Snapchat has my location.
I've got Snapchat and sort of like iPhone Find It.
Snapchat, Find My and Life 360.
Snapchat and I have Find My Phone.
Life 360 right now and Google Maps sharing.
Yeah, a lot of young people have some kind of location sharing app on their devices, whether it's to keep up with friends or for parents and family to keep an eye on you.
I use location sharing apps so that my parents can track me so they know that I'm safe.
Oh, because my mum makes me.
Yeah, just to find my mates.
For Snapchat, I think it's more like a cultural thing. You like to see where everyone is.
I'm driving, so my mum just likes to know like where I'm at and like if I'm going the speed limit.
Yeah. I think like with going out and us being, you know, the age we are, there's a lot of uni and a lot of travelling, so it just, you know, gives a bit of comfort for myself, my parents.
But while many of these apps sell themselves on safety, there is a potential dark side.
We've been talking about coercive control for a long time in the context of family, domestic, and sexual violence. But we were starting to see indications that coercive control from a technology perspective was starting to creep into the romantic and intimate relationships of young people.
Coercive control is when someone tries to control another through manipulation, pressure, and fear. And a recent study from the eSafety Commissioner looked into the normalisation of tech-based coercive control in more than 2,000 Aussie adults aged 18 to 75, including the use of location-sharing apps. It found that about 1 in 5 of the 18 to 24-year-old participants expect to be able to track a partner using these apps, and that it may stem from childhood experience.
Young people's lives are inextricably intertwined with technology. They're meeting each other online. You know, they're checking out where their friends are on Snap Maps. I mean, it is part of their daily lives.
I think it's been accepted so much more now with Snapchat and stuff.
I wouldn't say normalised. I think it's definitely, like I've had conversations with many of my friends being like, do you want to share your location? Yeah, sure, whatever.
I think 100% it's normalised, and I think for some people it might even be an expectation. Like I'll even message my friend here and be like, why is your location not on? Where are you?
So do you think more people in the future are going to expect to track loved ones?
Yep. As it's growing right now, I'm sure the trend's going to stay the same.
That is a big concern for the eSafety Commissioner, who says that particularly for young people who have grown up with this tech, it can be difficult to work out the line between love and care and dangerous controlling behaviour, which doesn't stop with location sharing apps.
There were 2 examples where we saw some concerning trends. And that is that almost 1 in 4 said that it was reasonable to expect to have a partner's codes or passwords for their personal devices. And then we also found that more than 1 in 8 agree that constantly texting a partner to check who they're with or what they're doing is usually a sign of care in a relationship rather than a manifestation of control.
With it being such a new concept, it's so hard to understand because, you know, we're all trying to learn about it.
When they start like doing it all the time, getting super insecure, always asking questions, I think that's when the line starts to draw.
I think it's a bit of like a hard line to draw, but I think if you're constantly getting a message, like I would say more than 5 times a day really saying, oh, where are you? Like I think if it's a constant like situation that's arising, I think that's when you have to reevaluate if it's beneficial for you or not.
If the first relationship's been just like a couple of days, couple of weeks, that's a huge expectation to, you know, and why are you firstly looking at someone's location? Why are you wondering that much about them?
We've seen families heated out of their homes where the former partner turns it up to 45 degrees, or every time the family turns on their smart TV, there are menacing messages. And then there are more high-tech versions like drones over safe houses, cars that are now largely electronic that can stall when it goes more than 1 kilometer away from the family home. We've even seen a cat feeder with a video tracking a person's movements and who is coming into the household. But even stuff like, this one really gets me, is the whole idea of, let's send a grand gesture. I will send a beautiful meal on Uber Eats to my partner to check that she's where she says she is. So it can be tied up in a grand gesture, but it can also be used in a way that is meant to check on a person's whereabouts in a very covert way.
Of course, we can't forget that the main reason location sharing apps were created is safety, and that is still what they're mainly used for. But if you find yourself feeling unsure or uncomfortable about location sharing, experts like the eSafety Commissioner say to trust your gut and set digital boundaries. And if things get really uncomfortable, make sure to reach out to the Kids Helpline, Headspace, or talk to a trusted adult.
I don't want to sound like Commissioner Gloom and Doom. All of this is a balance, right? We want young people to be vigilant, I guess armed but not alarmed. We don't want this to be so normalized that, it changes sort of the fabric of the kind of relationships that we're in.
Make sure you trust the people you share your location with.
It's really important that it's all, consensual and that it's all safe.
But if they don't know or they don't give consent, then absolutely not.
If you have that trust within you too, awesome. But it's also another aspect of trust.
It's all about communication, and if you're communicating properly, I don't think there's a need to.
Especially in a modern world, you don't have a lot of privacy, and that just adds to it. It's a constant sort of feeling of surveillance.
Yeah, I'd say take whatever privacy you can get, really.